everyone. How are you doing? This is Present You Grade 12 English from the Ministry of Education. Today, we are going to learn from Unit 5 about verbals or verbal forms, gerunds and infinitives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to analyze how to use suitable verbal forms in sentence, and you will also be able to use gerunds and infinitives correctly in sentence structures, in different sentence structures. Let's see how much you know about gerunds and infinitives or verbal forms. This will test your prior knowledge about. This will check your prior knowledge about gerunds and infinitives. So in this session, you will learn about what gerunds and infinitives are, how gerunds are formed, and what their functions and their uses are, how they are used in sentences. We'll see one by one this. Okay? Here we have a short paragraph about how verbals or verb forms are used in sentence writing or in paragraph writing. So you may need to test your prior knowledge about what you know about gerunds and infinitives. So you read this paragraph or story and then identify any verb form, which could be infinitive or gerund. Let's see how you can do it. My friend Melat liked to eat chocolates and hamburgers, but she had a problem. She was gaining weight. She decided to go on a diet. She stopped eating fast food and started buying more fruit and vegetables. After a month, she had lost a few pounds, but she wanted to lose more. I suggested joining a gym. Melat disliked exercising, but she agreed to try it. Now she exercises every day and she looks better. She's looking forward to losing more weight. Can you figure out the verb forms? The gerunds and infinitives? Let's see. In the first line, my friend Melat liked to eat. Liked to eat. How many verbs are there? Two, you see? To eat. In here, what can you say about this? Liked is a verb which is followed by infinitive with to, you see? To eat is there. And hamburger, okay? Melat, my friend Melat liked to eat chocolates and hamburgers, but she had a problem. She was gaining weight, gaining. A present participle form is there, but is it gerund? No, because it's used as what? Past maker, past continuous maker, but it is a verb form, you see, V plus ing. But it's not said to be a gerund because it's not used as what? Now, you see, you have noticed something here useful. She decided to go. Again here, we have two words, you see, decided and to go. So decided is followed by, again, to plus go, to go. Another infinitive verb form. On a diet. She decided to go on a diet. She stopped eating. We have eating, stopped, which is followed by V plus ing. Here, when you compare eating with that of gaining, can I call eating gerund? Of course, because it's this what? Noun, you see? It is used as a noun to indicate the reason or the action which is stopped by the person there as a subject, she, okay? Eating, okay? Fast food and started buying. Again, we have another verbs like started and buying. Buying again here is what? A gerund, you see? Which is followed by, which is preceded by the verb started. She started buying more fruits and vegetables. After a month, she had lost a few pounds, but she wanted to lose. Infinitive is there. I suggest in this case is followed by what? Joining. I suggested joining. Gerund, okay, as a noun. Melat disliked exercising. Disliked again is followed by what? A V plus ing, present participle, which is used as a noun. Because dislike by nature needs to have what? A gerund. You see, that is the verb pattern we have, a verb form we have. But she agreed to try. Agreed in this case is followed by infinitive with to, you see, to try. Agreed to do something, to try, like that. So we have an infinitive also, you see. Now she exercises every day and she looks better. She's looking forward to, you see, looking forward to is a phrase verb phrase, which is followed by gerund, losing, you see. So this paragraph or story can tell us that there are verb forms which could be considered as gerund in infinitive with to, which can be used as a noun, okay, as a noun, which means as object or subject of a sentence. In here we have seen how they are used in object. So we can see, we can have more, examples to illustrate how gerunds and infinitives are used as what? Subject of a sentence, object of a sentence, or object of a phrasal verb like this, okay? Like looking forward to at the end of the story. Let's see one by one how gerund, what gerund is, or what a gerund means, and what infinitives are. So here you have, a gerund has got its own definition. As you can see here, a gerund is a word, okay, which is formed by adding ing to the base verb. You have a base verb. When you add ing to it, it will be called what? Present participle form, specifically speaking, gerund. When you call a present participle form of a verb gerund, if only it is used as what? Noun, okay? Otherwise, you will not call all V plus ing forms what? Gerund. No way. That is called present participle. But if only if it is used as a noun, we call it gerund, all right? So you have to know that. Here, in other words, it's a noun in the form of what? Present participle, you see? That's what I have said, you see? Verb, present participle, verb plus ing, when used as what? Noun. This is the most important point that we need to know about gerund, which is different from that of the present participle, okay? Which is not used as a gerund, that means, a noun. Here, a gerund can be used flexibly in a sentences, yeah. As I said, V plus ing form is supposed to be gerund if it is used as a noun. So that means it is flexibly used in a sentence. It can be what? Subject. Noun can be a subject, object, or complement of a sentence, as you know, okay? Let's see how it will be flexibly used in a sentence. So here are some of the uses of the gerund. So it can be referred to when it is used as a noun. When a gerund is used as a noun, it can be used to refer to what? Actions, you see? To refer to actions, processes, or it can be states, okay? The state of being something. And it also is used to pose what? Them as a reason. It can be used to indicate some kind of reason in a particular event, okay? Like, when a gerund is used as a subject in a sentence, subject of a sentence, you see, as a noun, that means, let's look at the first one. Cycling needs care. What needs care? Cycling, you see. This is cycle is a verb, base verb, cycle, you see. When you add ing to it, it becomes what? Present participle, specifically gerund, used as what? Noun, you see. Because it's a noun which can be what used as a subject of a sentence, you see. So here it is used as a subject of a sentence. What needs care? Cycling, you see. What makes me nervous? Flying, you see. Fly makes me nervous. Again, fly is a base verb. When you add ing to it, it becomes what? A gerund used as a subject of a sentence. As a noun, that means, you see. Again here, brushing your teeth is important. What's important? Brushing your teeth, you see. This is a noun phrase. So you have brushing with your teeth, noun phrase, which is subject of a sentence. So this is another kind of gerund. What is the base form of brushing? Brush, you see, to brush your teeth. So smoking causes lung cancer. What causes lung cancer? Smoking. To smoke is a base verb, as you know. So you drop E and add what? ing to it. Then it becomes present participle as gerund, used as what? Subject of a sentence. You see, these are very good examples of gerunds are used as subject of a sentence, okay? Let's move on. Other uses of the gerund, okay? One, as subject of a sentence. You see, here you have the gerund as what? Object of a transitive verb. Because it's a transitive verb that could require what? Object, receiver of an action, okay? So here you have, she hates dancing. What does she hate? Dancing, you see? So you have that action, dancing, which is supposed to be object of the sentence, okay? What is the thing that she hates? Dancing, you see? So a gerund used as noun as what? Object of this particular sentence, okay? The second example, they enjoy playing what? Saxophone. What do they enjoy? Playing saxophone, you see? So playing is used as object of a sentence. Together with that of saxophone, it gives us what? Object phrase, you see? Object noun phrase with heading verb gerund, play, right? Here you have the third use of the gerund, okay? What is it? the gerund as a complement of the verb to be. When you have a verb to be means what? A verb, auxiliary verb, which shows the state of being. Okay, like for example, I'm a student, I'm a teacher. When I say I'm a teacher, am is what? Verb to be. It shows the state of being a teacher. You see. So the sense for the concept of verb to be means, which is a state of being something. So the gerund can be the complement of that verb to be in a sentence. You see. Let's see. Let's look at some of the examples we have here. One of the CEO's duties is attending meetings. What is one of the duty of the CEO? Attending meetings. You see, I need to complete the sentences having what? That of the gerund. You see, otherwise it will be incomplete. I will not stop there. You see, one of the CEO's duties, meetings, is nonsense. You see. So you need to add that of attending meetings. So this is the complement of the sentences, you see, because it makes the sentence complete, you see. What is the verb to be in this case? Is, you see. Verb to be. The state of being is shown by is attending. What is? What is the state of being shown? Duty. His duty, you see, is a state. Number two, example number two. The hardest thing about learning English is understanding the gerund. What is the hardest thing about learning English? Hardest thing, state of being hard, you see? So that's what verb to be there is. What is its complement? Understanding the gerund. Understanding is the gerund. Understanding the base verb. You add the energy, it becomes what? Complement of the sentence, because it adds something to the sentence to make it complete in sense or thought. The third example, one of life's pleasures is having breakfast in bed. What is one of life's pleasures? Having breakfast in bed. It's interesting, by the way. Huh? The sentence is verb to be again. We have having a gerund as complement of your sentence, you see. This can show you how the gerund is used in a sentence as a noun, as complement of a sentence, plus two, object and subject of a sentence, you see. Let's move on, discussing the fourth use, okay? The gerund after prepositions, okay? Or as object of a preposition. So the other use or function of a gerund is it can be used as object of a preposition, okay? How is it used in a sentence? Let's see. I'm afraid of climbing a tree. What am I afraid of? Climbing a tree. You see? So this is object of the preposition of. You see? What am I afraid of? Climbing a tree. You see? Object. That is it. Climbing a tree. Okay, gerund. The preposition is of. Can you sneeze without opening your mouth? Can you sneeze without? Without is what? The preposition. Without what? Opening your mouth. So opening your mouth, opening is what? Object of the preposition without, you see? Because it needs it there. Otherwise, it will not be complete. The third example, she's good at painting. What is she good at? What is she good at? Painting. Object of the preposition at. You see, that's quite interesting using gerund, you see, because you can flow your ideas like that, you see, using gerund as a noun instead of using ordinary nouns in our communication. The fifth use of the gerund. It is used as used after phrasal verbs, after some phrasal verbs, you see, like this. Like kept on, for example, keep on is a phrasal verb, which means continue. His friend kept on asking for money. Kept on needs to have what? Asking, gerund, okay? Present participle form, so the phrasal verb needs that of the asking. Kept on, what did his friend keep on? Asking for money. So this gives us that it would be used as what? A complement or object complement of the sentence, you see? Alamu ended up buying a new TV after his old one broke. You see here? What did Alamu end up? Buying a new TV instead of the old one, you see? So this is used, the gerund is used after the phrasal verb, so it makes it what? Complete. It makes the sentence complete as object of a sentence. Here you have another phrasal verb. This one was previously used, as you remember. I look forward to hearing, you see? What do I look forward to? Hearing from you, something interesting, something useful, that means. So hearing from you, the phrasal verb needs to have that gerund, you see, next to it, as object of it. In this example, I look forward to hearing you. Hearing is an object of the look forward to, because look forward to is an intransitive phrasal verb. It is used as what? as complement of the sentence, okay, in this case, because this is not a transitive verb. That means, so it is used as a complement in a state. Here we have, okay, discussing that of the gerund can lead us to that of the definition of infinitives. Generally speaking, infinitives are divided into two, as you know. The full infinitive and the bare infinitive. The bare infinitive is formed without what? Two. Okay, bare means without. The full needs to have two. Okay, so when you add two, the word to, to, before a base verb, you form what? Full infinitives, you see? So these are verb forms which are meant to have the word to before them to be full infinitive, okay? So in English language, there are some category of verbs which are always followed by infinitive with to, okay? So you must know that category of verbs. There are some which do not want, but which will be followed by gerund. So they can be used as a noun, these full infinitives, okay? We are speaking of full infinitives. We must know that they can be used as a noun, adjective, or adverb form. You see, they can be flexibly used in sentence as we do for gerund. Whereas the bare infinitive is the base verb without to. That is, bare means without. Okay, so you should know the difference between the stuff of verb forms as verba. The full infinitive are used in different situations, as we say. For example, you can use it for expressing purpose or intention, okay? When you are talking about the reason why you do something, okay? The reason why you do something, you use infinitive with to, without using conjunctions such as because, okay? For instance, you can use the to stuff or in order to. When you compare to with that of in order to is more formal. But you can use to when you are not considering that of the register of your speaking or writing, okay? Whether it is formal or informal or neutral, if you do not care about that, you can use to. But in order to can express purpose plus to that of why. In this case, when you use the full infinitive in expressing purpose or intention, you are using it is what? As adverb, okay? As adverb to describe the main verb, you see? Because adverbs describe or modify, as you know, verbs, okay, generally. Let's see some examples, okay, how the infinitives are used to express purpose, the reason why you do something. Like, I went to the mini market to buy milk. Went, as you see, is what? A verb in past. Why do you go to, or why did I go to the mini market? To buy milk, you see, reason. To buy describes, it's used as adverb to describe why you went, or why I went to the mini market, the reason why I did it. To buy milk. So this is purpose, the purpose of going to mini market, you see. The infinitive is used as adverb in that case, it describes the reason. Number two, let's look at the second example. It says, I'm writing the email to tell you about the exam schedule. So as you see here, the word to tell, the full infinitive is expressing what? The purpose why I write or why I'm writing this email to you, you see, to tell you about the exam schedule. So this means it is used as adverb, which describes the verb write, why I'm writing, okay? The third example, do you come to school to study or to chat? To which reason do you come to school? To study or to chat? You see, I have got two full infinitives with two, with the base verbs study and chat, okay? So that you could have a reason why you come to school, okay? That might be what? To study. But for some students, that might be chatting, okay? Yes, those who are not giving care to the education, that means so. Do you come to school to study or to chat? You see, reason used as adverbs. Both infinitives are used as adverbs, right? Which give reason, that means. Good. We move to the second use of the infinitives, which is as subject of a sentence, you see. Previously, we saw how the gerund is used as subject, object, and complement of a verb to be, and object of a preposition, okay? Here you have, again, the full infinitive used as what? Subject of a sentence, you see. It's possible to use the full infinitive as subject of a sentence, but sometimes it might be difficult for you. When you are given a test, for instance, should I use the infinitive or the gerund as a subject? Because they both can be what you subject. In that case, you need to ask yourself, okay, one question. That is, do I want to talk about something general? If so, You look for what? The full infinitive, you see? So when the full infinitive is used as the subject of a sentence, it tells what? An action in general, you see, at the subject. If the action is what? Considered generally. Otherwise, you'd use what? The gerund. Let's see in examples. To speak several languages is as an advantage. Do you see here? Generally. To speak many languages is advantageous because you can communicate with different people from different cultures, okay? But isn't it possible to say speaking several languages is an advantage? Of course it's possible, okay? But it has different meanings. Speaking several languages is advantageous means I'm not talking about something general. It might be talking about some specific situation or some specific time, you see? But to speak in this case shows an action in general. Generally speaking, okay? To discuss what has happened so far seems pointless. Again here, to discuss, you may have discussed something so far, and to discuss it now is pointless, so you are generalizing, you see? So generally speaking, to discuss something which has already passed is what? Pointless. That is it, you see? So this is subject of a sentence, in both cases, subject, subject, but the meaning is what? The implication is general action. I hope you got something about that of the infinitive as subject of a sentence and the gerund as subject of a sentence, okay? Number 3, the third use of the full infinitive as adjectives of a sentence. So full infinitives can add context, okay, or extra description when used after adjectives. Let us see. When they are used after adjectives, full infinitive describe what? Or add context or extra description. Like, I'm excited to see you. I'm excited to see you. I'm happy to see you. You see, excited means happy, okay, pleased. So this is adjective. So when you use the full infinitive after this adjective, it adds what? Extra information, you see. What am I excited to see you, you see? Or what am I happy about to see you? So after adjectives means like that, you see. Isn't it good to help? Good is also what? Adjective, to help, you see, the needy. So we can use that to add extra information. That means our personal computers easy to carry. You see, easy, adjective, to carry. The full infinitive, that means good. That is the third use. The fourth, with the words or adverbs such as to and enough. You can use the full infinitive quite frequently when you are using the adverbs to and enough. To means T-double-O, okay? Like, we collected enough firewood to last. You see, enough adverb. By the way, let's consider enough. The word enough. There is the word enough has got what? A typical feature. It can be used as adjective and adverb. When is it used as adjective and adverb? We can see. We collected enough firewood to last the winter. Is enough used as adverb, adjective in this case? Adjective. Very good. How do you know? Because firewood is what? Noun. You're using enough in this case as adjective, okay? But it can be used as adverb also. So when you have the word enough in to as adjective or adverb, that means you could have the full infinitive, okay? After it. That means, you see, we collected enough firewood to last the winter. You see, to last means to sustain. That means to stay long. That means. The second example, they were old enough to vote. Here you go. That's what I've told you, see. In the second example, you have what? Old, which is adjective, and enough is used as what? Adverb. So it's immediately followed by an infinitive with to. You see, we got two full infinitives, to read and to vote, you see. They were old enough to vote, but not to drink, because their age does not allow them to drink, that means. So vote, to vote, and to drink are the full infinitive, which are followed, preceded by the adverb enough. You see how you can use the infinitive with to after adverbs or after the words T-double-O and enough, to and enough, that means. Good. There are some words which are most commonly followed by what? An infinitive, always, okay? There are some category of verbs which need to have this full infinitive, okay? Such as this, okay? Agree, appear, okay, choose, like decide, expect, okay, fail, hope, learn, need, refuse, seem, wait, and want. These are some, by the way, okay? There are other words which can fall under this category of verbs which are followed by full infinitive, right? You have to read more on this. The other category of verbs are verbs which are followed by what? A gerund, always, okay? Not infinitive, but a gerund, okay? VN, present participle, that means used as now, remember. Here we have admit, for example, okay? The thief admits, for example, stealing the money. You see, gerund, it needs to have gerund. Advice, the same. Consider, discuss, dislike, rate, enjoy, finish, mind, practice. You have recommend and suggest. All these verbs are always followed by a gerund, okay? Because that is the verb pattern. When we have two verbs in a sentence, we have the second one as gerund. The third category of verbs is interesting, you know. They can be followed by either the gerund or full infinitive with meaning difference and without meaning difference, okay? So with no meaning change, you have these verbs, okay, which can be followed by what? Either the infinitive or the gerund. That can cause problems, you know, or confusion. So you have to be familiar with this category of verbs with no change. Like begin, continue, okay? For example, let's begin to discuss. Let's begin discussing. It's possible. Slight difference in being general and specific. Otherwise, they can be followed by, you see. Continue, the same. Hate, like, love, prefer, sad. We could have both gerund and infinitive for this with without meaning difference, right? The second one under this category, the second verb groups are what? They can be followed by other, but with a meaning change, okay? So these verbs are quite familiar with us, by the way. They are what? Forget, remember, stop, okay? Regret, like that, try. These verbs are very known because we quite often use them. We can use a gerund or full infinitive after them, but with meaning difference. So what meaning difference could they have? Let's see with examples, okay? Like, for example, here, I enjoy going to the movies. Enjoy with the ing, you see. I enjoy is followed by what? Going. Can I say I enjoy to go? No, because the word enjoy is always followed by what? Gerund. Like suggest, okay? Like suggest. We'd see some of the verbs which would have what? Meaning difference, as I have mentioned earlier. But this one is an example of, a best example of verbs which are always followed by gerund, V plus ing, okay? Like suggest and mind. I enjoy going, okay? Tekka likes eating at restaurants, and this is an example of what? Verbs which are followed by both, okay? Either the infinitive or the gerund without meaning difference, okay? Without meaning difference. That is that can illustrate that group of verbs. Here we have the third category, you see. Verbs which can take either the full infinitive or the gerund with what? Meaning difference. So you pay attention, okay? So Mary stopped eating at 6. What is the meaning of the sentence when stop is followed by a gerund? This implies the action in the gerund stopped, okay? It stopped, that is it, you see? Mary stopped eating means she was eating and she stopped, okay? So no longer taking the action in the gerund, no longer is taking place. That is the meaning of this sentence. What if the verb stopped is followed by infinitive with to? What the meaning? So here we have Mary stopped to eat. The meaning of this sentence means Mary was doing something else. She stopped it so that she could eat. You see? She stopped so as to eat. You see? It does not mean the action in the full infinitive stopped. You see? She's about to eat by stopping something that she was doing earlier, right? So here, Mary was walking, for example. Mary was walking home, and at 6 o'clock, she stopped walking and went into a cafe to eat. This is, by the way, an example, okay? You see? She was doing something else. What was that? She was walking home. And then when she felt hungry, she stopped somewhere at a cafe and then eat, you see? So she stopped to eat means she stopped what she was doing and then she is about it. She was about it. That means, you see, so the gerund tells you that the action in the gerund stopped. And the infinitive means the action in the infinitive is about to start by stopping what you were doing, okay, earlier. That is the big difference between these two, you see. Here we have an exercise on this infinitives and gerund. So the first activity needs you to complete the following sentences by using the correct verbal form, okay? Either the gerund or the infinitive, which is given in bracket. So what can help you, fix whether that you have to use the infinitive or the gerund? The context, you see, the meaning of the whole sentence. Otherwise, it might be difficult for you. So I warn you, for this exercise, I want you to spend 3 minutes, okay? Let's see how you have done it, how you have tried your best. So the first sentence has got go in bracket, and it's read as, she always puts off dash go in bracket to the dentist. You have puts off. This is a phrasal verb from your grade 11, okay? From your grade 11, puts off means what? To postpone something, to postpone a program, a schedule, an appointment, like that. So as you remember in our earlier discussion, that means in the preceding discussion, if there is a phrasal verb, we need to have what? Generally. Gerund or infinitive? Good job, a gerund. You get it right. So she always puts off what? Going to the dentist. Wonderful. So we need to use a gerund. You see, going to a dentist, because puts off is phrasal verb. Number 2, when will you give up dash smoke is in bracket. When will you give up dash smoke? Smoke in bracket. So what form is suitable? The gerund or the infinitive? You have give up also, fortunately, we have what? Additional phrasal verb, you see, give up, which means stop. So as far as we know, the meaning of stop is what? Give up means stop. And what is followed by? Both. Infinitive is to it, gerund. But here, which one is suitable? The gerund or the full infinitive? When will you give up? When will you stop? To smoke or smoking? Smoking is a bad habit, so you have to avoid it altogether. So the gerund, the infinitive, the gerund. Because everybody is advised to stop smoking. The action of smoking should be what? Stopped. So you take the gerund for smoking. You see? So you have to make such an analysis before you complete the sentence about that of the verb form or the verbal, right? So smoking is suitable. Number 3, that's well done, students. Keep working. Number 3, I have too many books to dash arrange in my shelf. I have too many books, T-double-O, okay? Too many books to dash arrange is given in bracket in my shelf. You have the adverb to, you see? Too many books, and to is there. So this tells you that the verbal should be what? The infinitive, full infinitive. So you have to take arrange. Not arranging, arrange, to arrange. By the way, the to is given there. You have a clue, so you take that of the verb. 4, dash arrive on time is important. What can you say about the sentences? As I said, the gerund and the full infinitive can be used as what? Subject of a sentence. Now you determine, should it be the gerund or the full infinitive? Why? If you are talking about something, something about punctuality in general, you take what? The full infinitive, okay? But if you are talking about, for example, a principle that someone has, you take the full infinitive. But if it is specific, for instance, you take what? The ing. If you are talking about yourself only. Yourself, specific, gerund. So here, on time is important. So you are sharing experience of being punctual. So if so, you'd use what? To arrive. The full infinitive, okay? To arrive on time as scheduled is important for everyone. You see? So you have to take it as a principle, right? So that will be the full infinitive, which is sound, sensible for everyone. Is that clear? Good. 5, they plan dash a business. Plan. Plan is followed by what? Always infinitive, okay? Yes, you are right. Very good. They plan to start. The full infinitive would there be correct form of the verb. 6, she suggested. Suggest is there. enjoy, suggest, mind, and the like. They are quite often, they are always, by the way, they are always followed by what? A gerund. So she suggested going to a library or going for a walk, possible, you see? So gerund will be right. But if you do not get for, as you are grade 12 students, you have to know some other alternative or options, okay? If you don't get a gerund, you could have what? That clause, which should, okay? For instance, she suggested that they should go for a walk. It's possible, right? If you don't get this, that would be an option with that clause. Number 7, he promised dash help me. Promised is always followed by what? Full infinitive. Good. I hope you get it right. So he promised to help. Full infinitive, because promise is followed by infinitive. Avoid. What do you remember about the word avoid? In which category or group is it? The gerund. Very good. So I avoid eating spicy food, because avoid is like suggesting the like, followed by gerund always, okay? I hope you get them all right. Wonderful. Okay, let's see. We have the next activity, activity 3, which needs you to complete the following story using the words or the verbs in bracket by making them either in full infinitive or gerund, okay, as you did in the previous exercise. So you need to spend for this exercise, since it's a short story, which is more of contextualized, you need to spend probably 3 minutes, okay, not more than that. Good. Let's see. Solomon loves travel is given in bracket. Solomon loves to travel or traveling? Oh, traveling? Loves can be followed by what? To travel and traveling. Possible, you know, the infinitive in gerund. But in this case, what are you talking about? Let's go to the second sentence that might give you a clue, okay? He began travel when he was... There is travel also, you see in the second sentence. Travel when he was a young child. Okay. The second sentence tells you that Solomon has got the desire. He's curious about what? Traveling, you see. He has a desire, that's his passion, to travel across the country or across the world. So, if the second one implied that, so you need to use what? The infinitive after loves, okay? So Solomon loves to travel. Is that clear? You see, because it tells us his passion or his desire to travel as a vacation. He began dash when he was a young child, specific, you see. When he was a young child, he began what? Traveling. The gerund is right here, you see. He began traveling, double L, remember, double L, okay? V-E-L-L-I-N-G. When he was a young child, he remembers dash new places every Christmas and summer holiday. You have remembers. Remember is in the category of verbs, which could be followed by either the infinitive or the gerund. Here, the gerund or infinitive. If you are doing something and remember later, you'd use what? The gerund. But if you first remember and do something, you'd use the infinitive. That is the implication of using remember. Okay, so when he was, he remembers visit new places every Christmas and summer holiday. So to what? Visit, okay? First, he remember to visit, you see, because that's his passion, you see. He will never forget that, that means, okay? The infinitive is suitable. The next one, in particular, he will never forget, in bracket again, visit Aksum in 2008, which means since 2000 is past, he made a visit, you see, to Aksum, and then remember that he visited Aksum. Do you see? So the first action is what? Visiting, and remembering comes later. So this tells you that the verbal form for visit would be gerund. Okay? So he will never forget visiting. After he visited, you see, he always remembers it, that means, you see. So visiting Aksum means on the day he and his family were going to depart, there was a big snowstorm. His father tried dash get them to the airport, but the roads were icy. This is, by the way, a very interesting story. When you complete it, you'll read it, okay, once again as a full story. So his father tried is there, get is there, so tried to get, okay, tried to get them to the airport, but the roads were what? Unfortunately icy, okay. The car kept in brackets slide, okay? The car kept. Keep is followed by what? Gerund, okay? Like that of mind into ends, just and avoid. So the car kept, the past tense of keep, sliding. Gerund, okay? Sliding. In the airport parking lot, his father actually hit another car. How unfortunate he was, you know. So he tried dash, but he couldn't. He tried to stop, but he couldn't, okay? He tried to stop, but he couldn't. Finally, when they get inside the airport, Solomon realized that he had forgotten something. What was that? To pack his clothes, you see? He had forgotten to pack his clothes. Infinitive, you see? Pack is given in brackets, so it should be the full infinitive, okay? After forget. Because he didn't do it, that means, you see? He didn't remember to pack his properties, especially his clothes. He remembered, bring is there in bracket, his passport at least. This that he did, you see? So he remembered to bring, at least. He remembered to bring his passport at least. So after arriving in Aksum, his family had what? You see? So is the result of what? Remembering to bring his passport at least. So this should be the infinitive, you see? So after arriving in Aksum, his family had to stop what? To buy or buy? Buy is in bracket, some clothes for him. In the end, he had a great trip. So buy, in the middle of their walking or in the middle of their travel, they stopped. So as to do something, you see? So after a stop, it has to be what? The full infinitive, you see? To buy. It's not the action of buy which will be stopped. They stop so as to buy. You see, that's why the full infinitive is what? Appropriate, you know? So that is the way we complete the story, you see? The story tells us that the correct use of infinitive and gerunds can make our communication, our writing, what? Very effective, interesting, you see? Interesting and smooth. That is it. Just to wind up our discussion on gerunds and infinitives, which are under verbal forms, we have a summary here. So understanding the difference between gerund and infinitive is very important for effective communication. You see, if you fail to distinguish gerund and infinitive, you will be what? In a problem concerning especially in communication. So you must know certain categories of verbs which can be followed by gerund, infinitive, both, with meaning difference and without meaning difference. So you have to read more on this. For now, that's all. Thank you very much, students. Goodbye.